I had this kind of fascination for like tiny creatures that move around, and I guess especially because when you look at them with the naked eye, you only see like the macro parts, but as soon as like you get a microscope and look at them closer, you realize how like crazy complicated and like beautiful they are. Bonjour, je m'appelle Pierre Rogy, je suis doctorant dans le labo de la docteure Diane Srivastava et j'ai fait mon master et dans ce labo aussi. So my lab studies bromeliads, which are in the same family than pineapple. So you could picture a bromeliad by taking a pineapple and cutting the fruit and just keeping the leaves, and you have this kind of structure where you have leaves pointing upwards then outwards, and there is space between these leaves, and in this space you have water that accumulates, and in this water you have a mini ecosystem composed of larvae of mosquitoes, dragonflies, and other insects. So I did my master's fieldwork in the city of Santa Cecilia in the north of Costa Rica, and the idea was to see if bromeliads could be used in the context of biological control. And so that's the study that we did, where we looked at the impacts of bromeliads on insects on orange trees in orange plantations. Now I'm doing my PhD on something that's more theoretical. So the idea would be to bridge two different theories in ecology. The first one is that of energy channel. So if you picture a forest ecosystem, say, and in that forest you have deers and rabbits, they both are herbivores, but they do not feed on the same plants, because, for example, the deers are going to feed more on small trees, while the rabbits are going to feed more on smaller plants like grasses. So they're both herbivores, but they feed on different plants, and so they form what we call energy channels that would be connected on top by a predator like a wolf. And as you imagine, deers and rabbits have different temporal dynamics, so it's easier to get a lot more rabbits than to get a lot more deers, just because deers take longer to reproduce. And so that means that we've got different temporal dynamics that are connected by a single predator or a single group of predators. And so that's really interesting to investigate. Energy channels allows you to bring inside the same framework different channels which have very different temporal dynamics. And so I'm trying to bridge that with ecological stoichiometry, which is the study of the relative quantity of elements within organisms and communities and ecosystems. The joint between the two theories is made on the temporal dynamics because there's a theory that's called the growth rate hypothesis, and it basically states that organisms that have a faster growth rate contain a higher proportion of phosphorus, and that's simply because when you produce new cells, you need a lot of phosphorus. And so that's where the link is. And so in my thesis, I'm trying to use ecological stoichiometry and this growth rate hypothesis within the context of energy channels. Because if you recall earlier, I said that some channels have faster temporal dynamics than others. So like the rabbits reproduce faster than the deer. And so if we translate this in terms of stoichiometry, it would mean that rabbits have a higher phosphorus content than deers. So this link hasn't been made yet, and that's the one I'm trying to do in my thesis.